Okay.
What are you saying that the officer did?
Okay, now, do bicyclists have a right to be able to use the road as the same as cars?
Not exactly the same, no. There are some guidelines that are differences, but
What are the...
they have direction of travel, absolutely. They have to signal their hand signals the same way that we use our turn signals, but yeah.
Well, let me ask you something. Do bicyclists have a right to travel down the same road as a car?
In specific manners, yes.
That's under 316, 2065 of the Florida statutes. And also 316.083 of the Florida statute specifically states that cars have to stay 3 feet away.
Okay, I'm familiar with statutes, okay? So I don't need to go through that one.
Well, what I thought...
The officer did.
Officer Smith, I just kind of figured that if I gave you these actual laws, I'm helping you out, right? So you don't have to...
You're helping out the person that may have been a victim, absolutely.
Thank you very much. All right, now here's the situation. I never thought I would see this. And I wasn't about to confront this cop that stopped this bicyclist as he was entering the section of Wilson Avenue and 23rd Street. The bicyclists, they were riding side by side. The cop told the bicyclist to ride on the sidewalk or he was going to jail him.
Is there a reason why you made contact with the bicyclist? And were you there?
Yes, I was there and I witnessed it.
Okay. Did you witness it from a distance or were you one of the bicyclists?
Let's put it this way. I'm not going to tell you exactly because maybe that cop had some kind of camera on there and then might retaliate on me too. Now, if I
understand your concerns, but you can also understand without certain information, I can't help you.
I'm giving you exact information of all I could, in the fleeting seconds as okay. Now, here's the situation.
What was the vehicle number, sir?
First of all, number one, you just told me you have GPS, okay? So we can track it down from there. I gave you...
But you can save me a lot of hassle.
Yeah, and I gave you the time, 4:30, because first of all, number one, I was... Officer Smith, I was so shocked. I was put in shock when I heard this cop going to threaten a bicyclist because all he wanted to do is go down the road and told him to ride on the sidewalk of where there's broken glass and trash and it's not a predictable road, ups and downs and all kinds of curves that they'd have to navigate. Now what I'm wondering is, and I would consider, would you say this cop deserves to be a cop anymore and should be fired immediately? Because if he's doing this to a bicyclist, which he thinks he can get away with, is he also raping young women? Is he also stealing cash? No, here...
Come on.
No, I'm...
You're getting out of control with it now. You're making some assumptions. We're not here for assumptions. We're here for facts.
Here's the facts. Number one. Now this...
You've told me where, you told me when, you told me what you felt was going on. I can track who the officer was based on what you've given me in the timeline. You stated that the officer ordered them to the sidewalk, not to the roadway. Is there any more prudent information that I can put in the report or the complaint?
Yeah, he was a white officer. And I'll be honest with you, all I could see was that. But first of all, number one, I've got to keep my eyes on the road, not looking at car, numbers. Yeah, I saw the black and white of the vehicle. But when I heard this, and I'm wondering, what else? Should this cop be a cop anymore? Do you consider it very serious? Is it a serious offense?
Determination only was to me. That would be somebody above us in this organization.
Okay, now 775.30 of the Florida statutes 2-A and B. It is an act of terrorism for a cop to intimidate a general population and to corrupt the government operation. That is a felony under United States Code, Title 18-241-242, which is a $10,000 fine and 10 years in prison.
Okay.
So now, Officer Smith, I'm sure you've read your manual all the way through, right?
Are you on the phone to make a complaint, or are you on the phone to cite numbers and see if maybe I can follow your numbers?
Well, Officer Smith...
Numbers, and I appreciate your candor, but I'm not willing to play the game. I'm here to take a report.
Okay, take a report on this right now. This officer...
Well, that's why you're calling, correct?
That's right. I figured we were in the process, and I figured that maybe I could save you a little bit of, walking around and stuff like that, or doing research. Don't you appreciate citizens that go out of their way to give you actual laws, not interpretations, not my interpretations, but actual facts?
Well, as much as I can appreciate all that, I also know the statute, so I'm familiar, so I don't need it, that's what I'm saying. I do appreciate it, however, it's not required.
But you see, by me doing this, and not only that, this cop did a conspiracy under 838 of the Florida statute, which is 5 years in prison, intimidated under 876 of the Florida statutes, which is an act of terrorism, which is 5 years in prison.
Mr. Public, that's all I've got. Your name is General Public, right? So I'm okay.
That's good enough. I want to thank you, Officer Smith. I want to thank you for your courtesy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, based on that, I think I've got everything that I need from you. All right, I've got the time, date. It was a white officer. It happened at 2:09 at 12:30 p.m. Two people riding on a bicycle. You made contact with them, ordered them to the sidewalk.
It was one person. It was one person riding a white bicycle, and amazingly, the bicycle said on there, "Be nice" on there.
All right, so we got the white bicycle at the intersection of Wilson and 23rd Street. You'd like to remain anonymous, so we'll keep it that way.
And the bicyclist...
Is there anything else?
Yes, this is very important. This is very important. The bicyclist had on there, "Be nice." So was the guy on drugs or high or what?
First off, lower your voice, all right? You get where you're screaming into the phone.
No, officer, I am absolutely floored. And what I'm wondering is, now does this bicyclist, he has put a state of fear in this bicyclist that anywhere this bicyclist rides in Panama City, Florida, he could have his freedom taken away because he's going down the road in a lawful, careful manner?
Okay, so I think I've recorded all the information I need. Is there anything else that I can do for you, sir?
I want to know something. Does this cop, did he not put this bicyclist in future fear that when he is going down the road, he could be arrested?
First off, you're making some assumptions, and I'm not willing to make those with you.
Well, then if you don't make questions, then how can you do an investigation?
And now I don't make assumptions. An investigation is not about assumptions, it's about finding the facts.
Okay, facts are, let's go under facts. Number one, before this bicyclist was contacted by this officer, February 9th, 4:30 in the afternoon on Wilson Avenue and 23rd Street, this bicyclist did not have a future fear that he could be, because he's going down the road in a reasonably safe, prudent manner, that he's going to have his freedom taken away. And maybe this is all this bicyclist has, is just a bicycle. So what I'm wondering, Officer Smith, has this cop told motorists, don't you ride your vehicle down the road?
Why, do you know that person?
Why would you mention that name?
Because I believe that's who I'm talking to.
Let me ask you something. If a person's name was Rick and the last one was Scott, does it make a difference about somebody's name? This is a conspiracy, you understand, under 838 of Florida statutes. That's 5 years in prison, okay? You understand? Now, I want to know something. Are you going to fire this cop? Or are you going to allow him to go on? If he got away with terrorizing a bicyclist? Is he raping young women? Is he stealing cash from people? No, I'm making an assumption.
Hey, listen, okay? Hear me out. I'm gonna let you talk, all right? Now, you let me talk.
And I want to thank you for your professional courtesy and not hanging up on me.
Absolutely. But I can't stay on the phone. I have other things to do and other calls to take. I think that I have obtained the facts of what your complaint is in reference to. And that's really, at this point, all that I need. Unless you're willing to come down here and sign a statement, then I think we've probably got to where we need to be. Okay?
Okay, first of all, Officer Smith, I have gone down there to the police department, and I feel like I'm one step.
That's not right now.
Pardon me?
Not today.
What?
Not today in reference to this complaint.
But would you consider it a very serious offense for a cop to threaten somebody with arrest powers? Because a bicyclist, all they're trying to do is just get down the road like everybody else?
Mr. Public.
Would you?
All right, I'm going to give you that, all right? I've obtained the facts from you. All right, I'm done with the phone call. Unless you have anything else that pertains to this incident, not an opinion. All right, I'm going to have to let you go. I don't want to hang up on you, but you just keep going on.
Well, here's the thing. It seems to me, no disrespect, Officer Smith, I want to thank you, first of all, for your courtesy. I can't tell you. Let's see, I had Laura Olson hang up on me. In 5 years' time, I've never been able to talk to Police Chief Scott Irvin unless he's out playing golf or sleeping somewhere. Okay, in 5 years' time, I've never been able to talk to him. I got hung up on by Laura Olson. I talked to a Cynthia Ramey, I think her name is Ramey, of criminal investigations, and then then I get hung up on by her. I talked to Sabrina.
Hanging up on you?
Why?
They're hanging up on you?
Why?
Because you just keep talking. And I mean, if you need to report something, you state the facts, and you give your input, and then you're done. But to continuously talk about statutes and ask for someone's opinion, we're not here to give you our opinion. We're here to uphold the law, and that's statutorily what we're supposed to do.
That's right, and that's the reason why. Yeah, and that's the reason why I lay everything out. Because believe me, I could take a cop, and I wanted to take this cop and say, let me tell you something. I've already taken cops to court. Do you know a Sergeant Stryker?
I do.
Okay, do you know I took him to court and I begged Shane Harvan not to drop them charges? Do you understand that I begged... hear me out, okay? Now...
I've heard you out. I've heard you talk.
Now, this cop, I want you to look into the facts of Sergeant Stryker. Put false charges against somebody...
I don't want to be the